Supersonic, la prima parte, quella di avvicinamento al live di questa giornata, interamente dedicata alla musica, alla storia soprattutto dei Placebo, che ripercorriamo quest'oggi attraverso lo spunto dato dal loro disco pubblicato da poco, che è un greatest hits, si chiama Once More with Feeling, e raccoglie 8 anni di musica dal 96 al 2004, passando rigorosamente attraverso i loro singoli. Io ne posseggo un'edizione limitata dove c'è anche un secondo CD totalmente rimissato. Di questo e di altro parleremo insieme a loro. Welcome guys, welcome to this. Not bad, not bad. Yourself?
Yeah, good.
That's good. So, we were having this conversation live set, which, I mean, is going to be about this, I guess. So, was it hard to put down the songs? I mean, allegedly you put down just singles, right? It's a proper greatest hits.
It's the easiest thing to put together, really, because they're all in order of
time
of release. Mm-hmm. So basically, you get the list together and then you put them on a CD in order. Piece of cake.
I read that.
It's important to stress, though. It's very important to stress that this is not Placebo's greatest hits. That this is simply a historical document, a kind of chronological retrospective of the band's most accessible stroke, commercial stroke, radio-friendly stroke, sell-out stroke, whatever material, you know? That doesn't sound like the Strokes at all. We really don't consider this to be anything other than just
definitely not a best of.
A history, you know?
Yeah. I read that instead of, if you didn't have to put out a greatest hits album, you would have put out a B-sides kind of song.
There's a lot of things that we would do if we didn't have to, you know?
How much did you have to do this? You had to do it.
No, it's just...
It's not a bad thing to put out a greatest.
No, it's just what bands do, you know? Particularly after like 10 years in the business and 17 songs in the top 40, you know? And it's just, there's no great mystery or great significance, you know.
Well, at least you have singles and songs that were successful.
Exactly, and you know, I think when people who are just slightly aware of Placebo may listen to that and go like, oh, God, they did that one as well, and they did that one, yeah, I recognize this one, you know, kind of thing, and it might, you know, sort of dawn on a lot of people that we've been around for a while. So it's kind of a good introduction for people who've maybe just discovered Placebo recently to a lot of the old stuff.
Was it hard to, I don't know, I read somewhere that you found it quite painful to go through your musical past and, you know, to re-listen to songs and...
But the important thing to stress is that as soon as you release a song, it ceases to be your story, you know, and then it becomes other people's stories, so you're kind of free of it. So it's kind of like an exorcism. And that's fine, because often you write songs for reasons, you know, songs are sometimes uncomfortable for you. But the big discomfort, basically, is all about the relationship that you have with your own art, you know, particularly your early work. You know, some bands' early work is their best, you know, and some bands get much, much better throughout their career. I'd say we're in the second, you know, category. And so when you kind of look back at those songs, it's often like sort of going to the house where you used to live in with your parents and going to your bedroom and finding a box full of bad poetry that you wrote when you were a teenager. And then you start to read it again, you know? Of course, the way that you relate to these songs is completely different to the way that other people, the people who love them, the people who had experiences to them, their first kiss, their first party, the first time they got drunk, or their first sense of identity when they listen to these songs, they kind of emerge, and they have a different relationship to these songs. Ours is a far, far more critical one, an uncomfortable one, than people who genuinely love these songs, you know, than Placebo fans. But the positive thing about that is that what it does is that it forces you to continuously look forward, and it forces you to continuously improve, which I think is basically, you know, the goal.
You somehow give a bad value to those songs, to the past.
Absolutely not. No, that's what I'm saying. You know, you can't sort of belittle the significance that they have. You know, it's just important to point out that your relationship with them is completely different. You know, when you look back, you just look back at things and you go, well, I could have done this better. Or I'm not very proud of that line, you know, or something like that, you know. It's just, that's unfortunately, it's the cross that you have to bear as, you know, as an artist, you know. I really, really doubt that Radiohead go back and listen to their first album, you know. So...
All right, we go back. Let's go see 36 Degrees first.
Okay.
Watch a video and we'll come back.